Hello, my name is Brant, and today is the 15th day of June, that is, of 2020. And my topic today is simply man made law is artificial. And what I mean by that is that man made law is not true justice, it's not truly just. If you look at the Supreme Court lady here in the United States, you'll notice that something stands out, and it should stand out because it simply is she's got a cloth around her eyes. Her eyes are completely covered, and they say, well, that's because she's not trying to be biased or trying to get the best for law. But also, you'll notice that the pendulum of the weights is like being straight would be more correct. Instead, it leans to one way, being more or less. So, if I understand that correctly, it should be the opposite. You need your eyes to see the truth. And what they're saying simply is you do not need your eyes to see the truth. In other words, you're blinded. Well, if you're blinded, you don't know what is true or false. So in reality, the symbol of a woman as being just, the justice here at the Supreme Court, is showing you that they're not giving you a just law. And if you notice, another thing that stands out is that the court systems are called criminal justice system. Well, yeah, it's justice for criminals. It's not justice for those who are not. So by their words, they're saying simply is they're not being true. They're not organic. They're looking at it with blind eyes. They're looking at everything around you, and they want you to do the same thing. And when you do that, you enter their world. You see, WHIRL, not WORLD, but world, being whirled around, being twisted, being fooled. That's their world. Those who rule this world want you to manifest what they are producing. And so this is why everything is all twisted and makes no sense at all, because it's artificial. It's not natural. It's not real. But if you put your belief system or your beliefs in that, you create that world. They need you for that, you see. And when you come to the reconciliation of that and realizing, wait a minute, I don't want to participate in this anymore. This is a false world. In fact, if we think about it, I go back 150 years ago, our family, our parents, our great 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 grandparents, per se, had it much better off because there was no artificial constraint upon us. And that's what you're seeing today is this artificial constraint upon us. And that's why we are confused, because it's like this goes against everything that's natural. For another example, the whole transgender situation that's being recognized today is simply artificial. It's artificial. It's not real. It can't be real. And it actually shows basically a spiritual dimension that people are seeking, but they're looking again on the outside, the external. You see? Men wanting to be women and women wanting to be men. When in reality, there's a spiritual dimension here that's missing. And when you think about this, it's it's why they continue to see people. Think about it. Do you want artificial food? That's what we're getting. It's not organic. It's not real. And so you're given a world again. Don't you see this whole transhumanism also is about destroying humanity in itself? The essence of who you are, that they desire for you to be a robot, that you will lay down and give up your spirit to be a part of their world. That's what's going on here. And you're in the valley of the decision here. You're going to have to make up your mind and say, am I going to participate in their world, or am I going to participate in what I know is true? It's truly organic. And what I mean by organic simply is real. That's all it means. It's just living in a real world. Being organic. And I mean, you see it so clearly if you have eyes to see. And so if you choose to be a part of that decision in the valley, that is that you're going to have to make a decision, then you're going to participate in the world. That's what you decided to do. That's why it's the ultimate decision. Because in reality is that you're destroying your spirit, your soul. It's a spiritual battle is what's taking place here, folks. That's what this is all about. That's why all this stuff is taking place right now, is because it's using all these unreal things that are happening and using paid actors and paid people who tell you what's going on and what's happening out there. And most people are confused. They don't see what's going on around them, and they buy into this. And they say, oh, the television's got to be telling me the truth because they're there. No, they don't. That's not. They can always fabricate that. They can always fabricate that, just like a movie. And if you pay attention enough, you'll see that you have paid actors at these Black Lives Matters or other places that you go to the hospitals and they claim there's tons of people there and they're sick, and then you go to the hospital and there's nobody there. It's all orchestrated. And those who work for these hospitals and those who are a part of these acting deals and all this type of thing, they're doing it for the money. They've already sold their soul. They've already sold it. They've already chose to do that. And that's the world they'll get. You see, what's taking place here is so critical. If you buy into their world, you will no longer be. You sold your soul. Like, we know that Bob Dylan did that. He confessed it. He sold his soul to be a great artist, musician. Do you see what happens? And there are other artists, musicians that have sold their soul. That's what they do. These people who wanted aspiring to be actors sell their soul. And what they're trying to do now is these people who do all this stuff, musicians, artists, lawyers, politicians, media, are seeking to steal your soul. And if you buy into that, what they're doing, then you will no longer be. You see, we reincarnate here. We've been reincarnating. Most of us have been reincarnating thousands and thousands of years. And we're here at this brink, and our eyes are being opened because we desire the truth. 2020, vision. true vision, true eyesight, clear vision. And those who don't want to see or come to the recognition that simply is that they want to be a part of that, they can choose that because that's free will. You can choose that. So, anyways, today's a beautiful day. Not exactly. It's a nice day. It's nice and cool. That's why I got a long sleeve shirt on. It's rather cool here today. So, but what I'm sharing is very pertinent, very important for you to see that this is it. This is all. This is what it's all about. This is the whole game that's taking place here. You notice that, for example, one more thing, that the bread and circus is kind of over. Do you sense that? Okay, because they haven't been putting out many movies. Think about it. And also, there's no sports. There's no pro baseball. There's no pro basketball. There's no other sports are being maybe not going to take place because this, in other words, there's no longer this artificial part that, in other words, they are taking you into what I would sense that they've dropped the bread and circus. And so now they're being somewhat more realistic and trying to keep you, this is the ultimate decision you're going to have to make. Are you going to choose their perspective, or are you going to choose the truth? Just look around. Don't just look around and observe life. Observe everything you see around you, and see that everything that is not natural, that's not in the nature, not in the world that we would be walking out in the woods. Almost everything. In fact, if you walk in the woods, there is no artificial. But once you come home, just by the device I'm using right here, it's artificial. You communicate. It's artificial. Think about this. When I was born in 1960, there was television, yes, and there was radio. And there was those later on in the 80s were promoting that simply as there would be an opportunity for you to be able to share and communicate by telephone lines to see a person back and forth. Now, think about that. How did they know that? They planted that seed in you, and you believed it. It manifested it. It manifested into our lives. Anyway, I just want to share that today. Appreciate your listening, and have a great day. As always, we are always, as my channel is called, Discerning What Is True. And discerning simply is looking and searching and longing for truth. That's what I'm seeking. I have no desire to fool anybody or mislead anybody. That is you choose. Okay? Thank you. Have a great day.